And the members of the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOGSAG, have been on strike for the past 3 weeks over payment of interim market premium. A meeting on Monday to sign an MOU between government and CLOGSAG was inconclusive, as the Labour Minister said that he was going to seek advice on financial implications of if government decides to make the payments. Meanwhile, the Government Hospital Pharmacist Association, GOSPA, is again threatening to embark on a nationwide strike. The last time GOSPA went on strike in August 2015 was over unresolved issues with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and their conversion differences after migration onto the single spine salary structure. But what role really does the NLC, that's the National Labour Commission, play in resolving industrial actions? We want to go to the phone lines now and speak to Charles Adongo Bawa. He is the Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon.
We are told that the NLC will invite CLOGSAG to thrash out some of these issues. When will this particular meeting take place?
We have scheduled CLOGSAG to appear on the 7th of September, Wednesday, to completely deal with the issues for which they embarked on the strike action. Now, what happened is that the Commission does not want to leave anything hanging, and we have information to the effect that CLOGSAG are saying that they have promised by the President. For that matter, they have called up the strike action. What we want is documentation. We will want the parties to sign agreed terms to the way forward in the solution of the matter. So that in the future, if any party reaches the terms of settlement, then the Commission will be in a position to pursue that party. We do not want to leave the matter without any proper end.
Mr. Bauer, if you can kindly reposition yourself, the line isn't very clear. And while at that, I'd also want you to help me out with this issue where you have mentioned that it has to do with issues of documentation. Then you know your next line of action. Is it now that you are asking for this documentation?
Well, what has happened is that we invited the parties to appear before the Commission to make a determination of the issue. And before that could be done, CLOGSAG is saying that they have been promised by the President that their market premium will be paid next year. As a Commission which is interested in the resolution of the matter, we want records to that effect. If the government have agreed to pay CLOGSAG, there should be a signed agreement which will be recorded in the records of the Commission.
Okay.
In the absence of that, we take the position that the matter has not been solved, and we will proceed to deal with the matter.
So, whenever there is a labor issue between any government institution and the government, your position as the National Labour Commission is to seek a quick, prompt resolution of whatever issues may be arising. Is that your key mandate, NLC?
Whenever there's an issue, and depending also on the nature of the issue, first of all, if there is a strike action, it is important that we sort out the strike action and then deal with the issue for the strike action. Now, if after we have dealt with the strike action and the parties say they have settled, it is also important that we invite the parties to adopt the terms of settlement of the dispute as a decision of the Commission. When that happens, the Commission will proceed to enforce the decision in the courts. If any party decides to go contrary to what has been agreed. It's just like a court of law. Parties can appear and decide, oh, we want to settle this matter out of court. Well, they must report back to the court the terms of the settlement, which is then adopted by the court as its consent judgment, for which parties must obey. The same thing applies at the National Labour Commission.
Okay, but in this case, if, for instance, the information we are picking is that GOSPA, which is the Ghana Government Hospital Staff Association, are threatening to go on a nationwide strike, when such an information gets to your office, what then do you do? And if you have any action to take, this is information that we are just giving to you. what is the next line of action that NLC would be taking to at least ensure that they do not, take up this action?
Normally, when we receive notice of strike action, we immediately invite the parties to appear.
Okay.
And the parties will appear and state what the issues are. And then the commission will look at it. If the parties have reached a deadlock and cannot continue negotiating at their level, the commission will take up the matter and determine it. If the commission is of the view that the parties can still negotiate the subject matter of the dispute, the commission will refer the parties back to go and complete the negotiation. In fact, if you look at the provision of the labor law, it is very clear. When parties appear before the commission, they must look at whether the matter has reached a deadlock for which the parties can no longer negotiate.
Okay.
Otherwise, the commission is supposed to refer them back. You see, the theory is that decisions at workplaces are better implemented and enforced and perhaps respected when there are decisions that are not imposed by an external body, when there are decisions that the parties have together reached. So we encourage at workplaces that parties must reach a decision by themselves, a resolution by themselves.
Okay.
It is only when it is very obvious that the parties cannot.
All right.
That is where the commission will intervene and impose a decision.
Okay. We are grateful for the clarity you've brought to this issue. Charles Adongo Baodia is Executive Secretary for the National Labour Commission, and